Hey guys, this is Teddy's General giving you a micro review. Now, the new Rocket Knight game came out on the 360 and Steam last Wednesday, and the PSN version came out this last Tuesday, the 18th. God, boy, my mind's on the fritz today. And I downloaded and got a chance to try it out. If you don't know what Rocket Knight is, it was a game developed by Konami for the Sega Genesis, and it also spawned a sequel known as Sparkster. However, that's where the differences, well, that's when the confusion actually kind of started with the Rocket Knight series. You see, Sparkster had two games. There was a SNES version, which was basically a SNES port of the original Rocket Knight Adventures game, and then there was Sparkster on the Sega Genesis, which was the proper Rocket Knight sequel. Stop moving the computer. Awesome. So, basically, if you're new to the Rocket Knight series, or if you're a diehard fan, you're probably wondering, well, is this game worth it? Well, in the short term, yes, it is. I'm going to be basically talking about the story, controls, and just things I do like, and some of the things I really didn't care for about the game. But the story takes place 15 years after the end of Rocket Knight, Sparkster, Rocket Knight Adventure 2. I'll just call it Sparks from here on out. Basically, after Sparkster defeated the main villain from that game, I haven't played Sparkster that much. I played Rocket Knight Adventures to no end. Phenomenal game. And basically, a new leader has come over the pig country. I forgot the country's name is, so bear with me here. And his name is King Swinehart. And Swinehart basically approaches the king of... Trying to get centered here. Sorry about that, folks. Swinehart basically approaches the king of Zephyrus, which is the kingdom of the possums, and says, you know, I'm sorry for what our old king has done. I'm now preaching peace and prosperity, and unfortunately my civilization is on the verge of death. Can we please come into the country of Zephyrus and basically intertwine with the possums? The king of Zephyrus, being kind and gentle man, says, why, yes, I shall let the pigs come in, and we'll forget everything that happened in the past. Sparkster, of course, goes up to him and says, this isn't such a good idea, king, but the king kind of brushes him aside and lets the plan go on. So the pigs basically come in, they basically become one with the possums. There's no cross-mating. That is weird. Really weird. Thank God there's something weird like that in the game. The pigs basically bring over technology, like advanced science and engineering, you know, compared to what the Zephyrins had originally. Zephyrins are still pretty technologically advanced. Just think of it as in the pigs were like, you know, bigger in the Industrial Revolution than the possums were. So after this is happening, Sparkster once again goes to the king and says, look, I know the pigs are up to something. We can't trust them. And the king looks at him and goes, you know what, Sparkster? You're a relic of the past. We don't need you anymore. Bye-bye. So basically Sparkster loses his Rocket Knight credibility, and he then takes his Rocket Knight pack and flies off. He leaves Zephyrus forever until he comes back eventually and stops being a Rocket Knight because his kingdom's kind of forsaken him, and settled down, married, and had a kid. And he's now a farmer. So the game basically takes place when Sparkster's, you know, cropping his field, when a strange wolf civilization comes and starts attacking Zephyrus. So Sparkster dons his Rocket Knight gear once again because he made a promise to always protect the kingdom of Zephyrus no matter what the cost. However, as he finally returns to the kingdom, he notices things are different, as in Swinehart's now the complete military official and on the verge of being a dictator, even though there is a king and whatnot. His old girlfriend, the princess of this kingdom, is now like really nowhere to be found. She's kind of like forsaken everything since when Sparkster left. She kind of lost all hope in her civilization. And Axel Gear, the most badass rival and Sparkster's arch nemesis, is now a Rocket Knight instead of a Black Knight. So basically, as the game progresses, and spoilers by the way, the third world in the game is actually the Wolf Kingdom itself, and you actually take down the Wolf King, hoping to end this weird war between the possums, pigs, and wolves, thinking you're trying to achieve peace. Well, that's when evil Swinehart says, you know what? JK, I've been evil this entire time. Haha. Axel knocks out Sparkster, throws him off a cliff, and basically Swinehart goes to finally once and for all take over Zephyrus. However, that chasm that Axel threw Sparkster down actually led to an underground pig bunker. which had a lot of technological advanced awesomeness. And Sparkster takes it out, defeats Axel on a one-on-one sword fight. And the final world is basically Sparkster taking on the entire Pig Armada and getting back to Zephyrus, finding it almost basically destroyed. And he defeats Swinehart and they save and everything. You know, basically a pretty good story considering, you know, that they actually left in the whole little 15-year gap since the last Rocket Knight game. I thought that was actually pretty cool and nifty. The fact that they let it up to make you think that the wolves were the bad guys originally, I like the idea. It's kind of hard to go with that if you're a diehard Rocket fan. You always know that, well, the pigs are doing it. Sorry, if you didn't see that coming, I want to say, what the hell's wrong with you? But controls. Controls are very perfect, fluid. Sorry about that. No control issues whatsoever. There is a new option. Basically, because in all the Rocket Knight games, you use your rocket pack to get from point A to point B, you know, as a way for speed, ramming into enemies, bouncing off walls, getting to new areas. It's the one thing I love about the Rocket Knight games. And the rocket in this game behaves much like it did in Sparkster, where it's an automatic charge instead of having to hold down the rocket button for a charge like in the original Rocket Knight game. However, whenever you do a boost, if you hit the boost button again, Sparkster will then go into a little drill animation to do, I think, double damage to enemies, but also break apart certain barriers. This concept is used a lot, and it's actually really, really fluid. So after that, so the controls are great. The graphics are beautiful. It's a 2.5 side-scrolling game, much in the vein of the Klonoa series, and it works well for Sparkster. The graphics have this cartoonish like to it, which really, really fits the mood of Rocket Knight. I really was not disappointed by the graphics. Hell, I was a bit skeptical about the new character designs, but after a while, the new character designs are pretty good. And there's actually also bonus content in the game, such as if you beat the game on hard, arcade mode on hard, then you unlock the golden Sparkster skin from Sparkster. Because in Sparkster, if you got all 7 golden swords, Chaos Emeralds, basically he would turn into golden Sparkster, Super Sparkster. Sorry about that, that's a Sonic fan of me going out. And you can also play as Axel Gear. I don't know how to unlock him yet, but once I do, I'll be happy as all hell, because that playing as Axel. Yes. But now, my complaints about the game. There are 2 difficulty modes. There's a normal mode and a hard mode. Normal mode is way too easy. It's abysmally easy. By the end of World 3, I had accumulated about 12 or 11 lives. Halfway through the game, or hell, yeah, about halfway through the game, I'm already at 11 lives. I haven't died yet. Then level 4 comes around and reminds you and goes, oh, wait a minute, this is an old school title. We need to be hard again. And finally, even on normal, level 4 and level 5 were brutal to certain extents, but it was awesome. It was reminded me of the old difficulty that the Rocket Knight games originally had. And my screen went dark, sorry about that. Because the original Rocket Knight games, even on the easy difficulty, they were still hard. I mean, they were still hard if you've never played it before. But once you started learning the patterns, it did get easier. But for my first time playing through Rocket Knight, I was expecting that challenge at the Genesis. But I was very disappointed. And so hopefully hard is going to be a shit ton harder. Original Genesis hard, that's what I'm hoping. And my second complaint, there was no giant robot fight. I mean, in Rocket Knight Adventures and Sparkster, you fought Axel Gear one-on-one in a Rock'em Sock'em robot fight with your giant robots. It was awesome, and I was really hoping to see this in a 2.5 next generation style. And it sucks because King Swinehart does have a giant golden robot. But you don't fight him with your own robot, you fight him on foot like every other boss. Come on, Konami! I mean, that was one of the cool things about the original Rocket Knight games, the giant robot fights. And not seeing your giant robot kind of upset me as a classic fan. But, I mean, you set it up. I mean, Swinehart punches Sparkster, he flies up, and you start the boss fight. You think he'll land in his giant robot and you'll kick some ass. No, it goes into a normal boss fight. It's... But overall, this game was a lot of fun. Definitely worth the $15 that you spent on it. I would definitely recommend this to any of the old-fashioned Rocket Knight Adventure players, and hell, even the people who want to give the game a try. It's worth it. It's a perfect dose of nostalgia. So if you own a 360, Steam, or PS3, then definitely download this title if you're a complete classic Genesis fan like I am. So that's it for this little 10-minute review, and I hope you guys enjoyed. See you guys next time.